Onto the circuit then go the juniors for the first race of the day, the first of 9 races here on finals day. It's race time, and let's take a look at the grid for this first race. On pole position, we've got Natil Cantin for Birolart KMS. Killian Meyer starts alongside the Spanish driver. Alex Quinn from Great Britain for CRG lines up third. For Kart 1 Arena, Simon Suchowski, multiple champion of Slovakia, is there on the outside of row number 2. Dimitrios Tsimperis, the Greek driver for PRT Motorsport, lines up 5th. Hugo Anderson for Dan Holland Racing is going to line up in 6th place. 7th on his debut in the Euro Challenge is Laszlo Toth from Hungary for the Speed World Academy team. Knows the circuit from racing in the German Championship. Has also been a front runner in the Central Eastern European Championship. And is also very good at judo, which is why I only started racing about a year ago. Actually quite late coming into motorsport. Khalid Sayed Al-Wahabi is going to be lining next up. And then on the next row of the grid, we can see Jack Spinola and Phil Dower, Antoine Percival and David Rem line up next. Kenzo Ertz and Rens van Pelt are on the next row of the grid. And then on the 8th row, we've got Sebastian Essner and Mika Stanley. The 9th row, Emma Weinreich, Rookie of the Year in Danish karting last year, and Jakub Novotny. And the final row of the grid will be empty because Jordan Brown-Nutley is a non-starter. So that gives us, Chris Dawes, 18 karts, 6 places available at the front of the field to go through the finals. You've got a 1 in 3 chance of getting through.
And they are focused. They are really getting ready for this race. And I tell you what, you can tell how cooler the track temperature must be, because we did not see them being quite as vicious in getting some warmth into the tyres yesterday, by my recollection, Chris. This time they were really weaving from side to side, and they probably weren't happy. They've been slowed down a lot earlier. I was making a comment earlier that the juniors were kind of leaving it till the last corner, but they are coming through that big sweeping last corner, turn 12, as we speak on the screens, getting themselves into the corridors. Don't want to make sure they don't get penalties, and off they go. Are they going to be happy? Are they going to be allowed to go? I've got a suspicion this may be a no, just from the body language, but we'll have a look at that. At the moment, it does look like Cantin has got the lead, but no, it looks like Thomas Leiner is indeed walking over to the other side, and that's a stop. So it's a false start for the first race of the day. And with all due respect, Chris, the pressure that they are on, it's probably not that surprising.
Yeah, it was just a little bit out of sync, wasn't it, each of the rows. And as we said before, there's an acceleration line before the start-finish line. Only once you cross that bright green line are you allowed to really floor it and accelerate. And that's to keep the pack bunch together and to ensure that the tail enders don't have a disadvantage, because they might still be coming out of the last corner as you are flooring it. Just a glimpse of the green line there as we look at the pack making their way into this hairpin, where, as you said, lots of overtaking into turn 9, this hairpin. Then this is fun through this, what we're calling turn 10. It's a sequence of S-bends, really. It's a try and straight line, but they can't quite do. So really jinking away at the steering wheel.
Certainly one line, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's the point they were
no
telling
overtaking
us.
there.
Yeah.
But then you get a nice run through there. You can have a look up the inside into that hairpin at turn 11. There's the back straight. Over the crest, see them going up and down. Doesn't look much from up here, but it's quite a bump, that. And a slightly downhill braking zone then into turn 12. But they only feather the brakes. They try not to scrub too much speed off and whip out of turn number 12. So here we go, Chris. Natil Cantin to the left of the picture on pole position. Killian Meyer to the right. Watch for Alex Quinn, second one back on the left. The number 5 kart gets underway then as the race is go this time. It's a good start for Cantin. He's got the nose in front there. Cantin is in the lead of the race. It looks like Alex Quinn has got straight through to second place, through turn 1, to turn 2, into turn 3 now. And it's a good clean start for all of the front runners. 1 or 2 at the back of the field, running a little bit wide there. But no massive dramas at turn 3, through 4 already, and into the hairpin at turn number 5. There you go. And then it's the double right at turn 6. Just that. It's a double apex, really. 1 sweeping turn 6 and 7. And it is the pole sitter still leading from Quinn. In third place, it is Killian Meyer, number 45. Not bad start at all, actually, from a tricky outside spot. But Killian now getting a little nudge coming through the hairpin, loses a place. And the place that is lost is going to be to the number 92 kart of Simon Suchowski. Suchowski with a good start here, getting a position back up to third place. There are the top 2, though. Alex Quinn will just want to get to the head of the field and get away from all the dramas. And he's now already having a look up the inside, squeezing through turn 1 into turn 2. Great move from Alex Quinn. We don't see many of those at turn 2. And he's forced his way through. It's a good, clean move, though. And he's into the lead of the race. Cantin down to second place, Crystals.
He was not hanging about there, was he? we've seen it more often or not up into the first hairpin, turn number 3, but he was not waiting around. He was lining that up as he came past our commentary position into that left-hand kink of turn number 1, got himself firmly on the inside, so there was nowhere for the second position driver of Natal Cantin to go. And by the time they got to that turn 2, he'd done it nice and cleanly, great move, and he's going to hope to move away. These are the two we were expecting to be up to the front, and they are doing exactly that. And I think we'll probably see them just kind of settle in so that the two of them can pull away at the front. But Alex Quinn certainly is doing that. He's already managed to put probably about 5 cart lengths between him and Cantin already. Ducking behind the steering wheel as they go up the start-finish straight, trying to give themselves as little drag as possible. Incidentally, they were reporting that the wind was so strong yesterday that it was causing them a huge problem with their helmets, that they had to duck down as much as possible, or it was pretty much trying to rip their helmets off their heads.
Yeah, just trying to make yourself as aerodynamic as possible, because they change at turn 5 there for 4th position, I think. So is that Khalid Sayed Al-Wahibi getting back ahead of Killian Meyer, I think. Let's have a look as they come back through. And no, it's Killian getting the place back, actually. So Killian Meyer back up to 4th place, which he lost very briefly at the start of the lap. As Alex Quinn, number 5, right behind him. Natil Cantin, first season of racing for Cantin at European Challenge level. First time for both of them here at Wackersdorf, but the same is true for many because we haven't been here for 3 years. And Alex Quinn had a choice of racing here this weekend or in the CIK Championship, in which he also runs in 5th place. That's at Sweden this weekend, but that's the final round. It's only a 3-round championship. This is a 4-round championship. Therefore, the team CRG said, right, you've got a better chance of winning in Rotax Max. We'll put you in that this weekend. Let's see if you can catch everybody up. So far, it's been a frustrating weekend, but it's not over yet. Alex has got the pace to come through the pack. He leads the race. Cantin second. Sachowski, who was the 2010 Mini 60 champion of Slovakia, the 13-year-old from Bratislava, runs in 3rd place. Killian Meyer 4th. Sayed Al-Wahabi 5th. Hugo Anderson 6th. David Rem is up to 7th. Jack Spinola up to 8th place. So David Rem, the Swedish driver, in 7th, trying to catch this pack now. The top 6, though, have made a bit of a break for it, haven't they? From 6th to 7th, the gap is just about 2 seconds. That's quite a lot of time to try and bridge.
And yet again, for the second lap running, you're able to see just how important that final corner is, turn number 12, that you don't want to scrub off very much speed there because you can be punished all the way down the start-finish straight. Turn 1, and we got a change for 3rd position. He's made a move up the inside. Zach Killian Meyer trying to get up into 3rd position. Has he done it? Yes, he has, and he's held on to it because I thought that we were going to get that come back again. But I was just making the point that all the way down the start-finish straight, turn 1, 2, up into the hairpin at 3, you can be punished. And the last 2 laps, 2nd position driver Natal Cantin has got a fabulous run, and he's basically bump drafting Alex Quinn all the way up the start-finish straight. But Alex Quinn is making it the widest kart possible and comfortably holding on to that lead.
Good news for one Swedish driver, not so good news for another. They're 6th and 7th, the 2 Swedes. Hugo Anderson is 6th, so in the last of the qualification positions, still quite clearly ahead of David Rem in 7th place. And David on that lap was slower, so the gap is actually growing from 6th to 7th. So at the moment, it's Quinn, Cantin, Meyer, Al-Wahabi, Sachowski and Anderson that will be the 6th through. There you can see the gap. They're only through turn 2 now, as into turn 3 goes 6th. They're 7th and 8th, so they're quite a long way back already. There's only 3 laps to go, including this one. In other words, those drivers in the top 6 can just sit there now, just follow each other around and not stress about what's happening behind them. And you can see to an extent, Alex Quinn leads, and Natil Cantin, I think he's just happy to sit there in 2nd place and follow him around, because there's also quite a big gap back to these 3, 3rd, 4th and 5th.
I predict that he will actually look to make a move around that turn number 12 where he's been seen. He's so strong through there. And I think on the very last lap, we've got him can consider making a move because it's going to put him on a different side of the circuit. I know that, I mean, he's bump drafting all the way along the start-finish straight there. But is he going to make the move? He has the strength there. We've got to change for 3rd position again because Killian Meyer's down to 4th and Sayed Al-Wahabi is up into 3rd position.
We've got a penalty being applied for number 97, Mika Stanley, for leaving the corridor, leaving 2 wheels out of the corridor on the start procedure. There are many cameras, not just the ones you see on RGMMC TV, but many cameras around the circuit. There's a team of stewards watching every move and able to replay that. And we're about to see that change for the lead that you predicted, but it's at turn 9 until Cantin goes through back into the lead. Quinn down to 2nd place, not fighting each other too hard. Had to be sure that the opportunity was there, because with just under a lap and a half to go now, unless you're sure, you don't want to risk a move here. Would you rather be 29th on the grid or 30th on the grid, or just risk it all and not be in the finals at all? Through turn 1, into turn 2 go the top 2. Their lap times 53.2 and a 53.1. They are being caught by 3rd and 4th, who are in the high 52s. And that was because they're overtaking one another, I think. So Al-Wahabi and Maya, 3rd and 4th, started to close the gap, but we're on the final lap now, Chris.
I was going to say, I think that's too little too late as it happens, but good to see they know they've got the pace there, and it is Noah's Ark, 2 by 2 by 2 for these front 6. These are the 6 that, as it stands at the moment, are going to be making it through. A very frustrating sight for 7th position, Phil Dorr, who sat there with that great big gap, knowing there's nothing that he can do. Lead 2 still as they were, and in fact, for the first time for a while, there's probably about 2 or 3 kart lengths between them, and that looks to me as though Quinn's not cutting his losses, but he's decided after the bad luck he had yesterday, let's just get this into the final. Through to take the checkered flag comes number 79, Natal Cantin, and Alex Quinn chasing very, very closely.
Yeah, I don't think Alex will be quite so reserved when we get to the race later on. That was very much, let's just get through. He's got to go into full-on attack mode for the pre-final to try and get somewhere in the top half of the grid if he can for the final later on to try and score some points as a save. If he doesn't finish in the top 10 in the pre-final, it's going to count as a drop score for him. So he might as well go for it. In a sense, he's got nothing to lose other than the opportunity to score good points in the final, of course. So Natil Cantin, the winner, Alex Quinn second, Khalid Sayed Al-Wahabi third, Kilian Meyer fourth, Simon Sachowski fifth, Hugo Anderson sixth. There you can see the results on screen for the top 12, but subject to all the post-race checks, it is the top 6 that I've mentioned there that will go through to the back of the pre-final. I start from grids 29 to 34, and they will be out in action in an hour and 20 minutes time because the junior pre-final starts at 11:40. There, the rest of the results on screen. Phil Dahr, the German driver, in that really unlucky 7th place. Just the gap was opened up too much really in the first few laps, and he couldn't bridge the gap. The only hope, and we've seen it a few times in the past, is that if somebody has a technical problem and gets booted out, then they would, of course, relinquish their place in the top 6, and 7th sometimes can nick through that way. But as it stands, Cantin, Quinn, Al-Wahabi, Meyer and Sachowski and Anderson continue their day, joining the back of the grid for the pre-final later on.